As we segue now to Friday Night Smackdown on Fox, going down live from the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden in New York City. And this was the Bloodline Succession show, as we had a 35-minute segment involving the Bloodline, recapping Money in the Bank from this past Saturday to the trial of the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Now, this trial, Scott, was a little bit on the cheap side. We had no table. We had no chairs for Sami Zayn's trial. We had all the accoutrements. For Roman, you just had the ring. The Usos came out. Paul Heyman came out. Solo came out. And Solo basically told Paul, hush, I want to hear what my brother's got to say. Then Roman comes out. We go to commercial to milk that rating some more. We come back. And Roman's like, who gave you the authority to call a trial on me? I didn't authorize this. You can't put me on trial. How dare you? This isn't happening right now. But the Uso says, bet. And they toss to one exhibit A, of all the times Roman Reigns abuses power against his cousins, berating them, gaslighting them, exerting his power around to say, I am that guy. You must bow down, kiss the ring, and do whatever I say at all times. And Roman is going to flip the footage on them saying, I didn't want to be this way. I didn't want to do those things, but I had no choice. It's my responsibility as a tribal chief to carry all of us along on this journey. I got 5 kids. I'm taking care of yours and mine at the same time. And I got to do what I got to do for the family. I got to set an example. I got to set the tone. And it might come off harsh, but that's what I got to do. And we got Jey looking guilty. Like, oh my God, we put so much pressure on him. I kind of feel bad about it. And Roman just gaslighting his ass off, saying that I've been doing this for us for 3 years. It's not about me. It's about the family. It's about, making sure that we're thriving and surviving for generations to come. And my daughter looking at me sideways, wondering what's happening. But he says, well, if you want it so badly, Jey, if you want to be the tribal chief so desperately, you can have it. I don't want this. I don't want this anymore. I'm tired. So Roman is going to take off his lei, present the lei to Jey, go take off the belt. I knew then he was full of shit. Take off the belt. Really the thing he treasures most beside the other 2 belts he can't let go of. Then he gets down on both knees and is ready to bow down and acknowledge Jey Uso as his tribal chief. But if you pay attention to the kicks, if you pay close attention to the kicks, the Nikes, the heel was all the way up. Symbolic, was it? So Roman, the symbolism of that heel,
no doubt,
pointed up, curled up, had a nice arch.
Tore them J's all up. Tore them Nikes all up.
He said, I got 20 more of them mugs. This ain't nothing for me. I got more in the closet. I can bend these up. But I'm going to put this heel up with the arch all the way up. Point them up, heel, turn. And he's going to low blow Jey. And it's a moment. And Jimmy's shocked. He goes after Roman, but he's quickly swarmed over by Solo Sikoa. It's a beat down by Roman and Solo to Jimmy and Jey. They're trying to fight back. And then we have Solo tie Jey against the ropes, and Roman lets him watch as he destroys his cousin Jimmy. Still steps shots repeatedly, slams into him, still steps, beats his ass, hits him repeatedly with the championship belt over and over and over and over and over again as Jey looks on. And then Jey tries to fight back to no avail. He gets beat down by Solo and Roman. And then we have Solo on the top of the barricade. We have Jimmy on the desk on the announce table. And to call back to what Solo could not do at Money in the Bank, Solo is going to splash Jimmy through that announce table. Jey is covered with some chairs by his brother, buried by Roman. And we have Roman Reigns in that moment reassert his power as the tribal chief, the lei, the championship. He stands tall. He reasserts his power in this moment. But a couple of things stood out to me. The first was that when Roman low below Jey and the lei went down, Solo looks at the lei, picks it up, looks at Jey, looks at Roman. Here's the crowd. They chant, put it on. And he's contemplating this. So I love this thread of Solo, despite being loyal to Roman, still thinking about the long game here, because we cannot forget one key thing. Roman Reigns never called Solo up. The elders did. So that might be his future down the road. He's loyal right now, but he's thinking long term. I could be the tribal chief one day very soon. And I love that piece of business throughout the show of where the Solo's true loyalties lie. And the other part was Jey selling this beat down beautifully, Jimmy getting his ass beat, and Roman just being great. This guy, once again, produced legit tears on the spot to sell the emotional weight of this moment, even though he was full of bullshit. And I love that for Roman Reigns. His talent to cry on command is very Denzel Washington-esque, I must say. But all in all, great segment. It went a little bit too long for me because I felt like there were some cuss words being bleeped on Fox. Can't cuss on network television that drag things a bit. But otherwise, another great piece of business in this Bloodline storyline, which is the best thing in WWE by a lot these days. And it will go down as one of the best stories WWE ever told.
So I agree with you. This is definitely one of the best stories WWE has ever told. I'm going to tell you what I won't do, though. Won't be putting Roman Reigns and Denzel Washington in the same sentence. I'm going to tell you that. Okay? Let me tell you that. Okay?
I said tears,
no
not
doubt.
Thespianism.
And you know what? That same tear that came down his face in Glory is in a completely different category than that tear that came down his face on SmackDown. Okay? Let me tell you that. All right? He can get a Ving Rhames. He can get one. He can get him.
God.
Okay? But Denzel? Nah. I can't do that. I can't give him Denzel.
Not Ving Rhames. You trying it now.
No, you know what? He can get the Wesley Snipes when he's holding the camera.
Yes,
he can get that. No,
you get the New Jack City tears. Yes.
No question.
Right before he pulls the trigger. I will allow that. Yes.
He can get that. But you know what? Him and Glory, they ain't in the same conversation. Okay. Those tears are different. Okay. There are levels to these tears. No, but I completely agree with you. I think this is top tier. Roman Reigns has been fantastic through all this. And the people that say that the title doesn't mean anything in this story, like Roman Reigns is going to be Jey Uso for this title. But that's when he's defending this title, all of this is going on. Like, this is stuff that a champion has to deal with, all of this family drama. So now he has to deal with all of this on top of being this undisputed world champion. So I actually like the story of him having to deal with all of this family drama on top of being the number one guy in WWE. Like, he acknowledges who he is. He tells everyone else to acknowledge who he is. But now on top of that, he has to deal with all this family drama. So I like the added layers of him being a champion. And, I'm still on the fact that maybe Cody should have won. But since we're here in the moment, I'm okay with the story of he's still a champion and he has to worry about that on top of worrying about taking care and dealing with this family drama he has going on.
Yeah, you know how I feel about Cody losing at WrestleMania. It hurts my soul still. But listen, numbers don't lie. Ticket sales don't lie. And in hindsight, this was meant to be. This is a story that needs to be told right now. And Roman had to lose at some point, let it be to his cousin, Jey, which made total sense for the storyline. He won't win the championship, but he got that first victory over his cousin, that first pinfall that Roman suffered in over 3 years in WWE, going on 4. So for that, I'm cool with it, 100%. You're telling a story for next year's WrestleMania because I want Cody back in that championship chase because it'll mean a bit more when the time calls for it. But I can't argue facts. And the facts are, since WrestleMania, WWE has been red hot in terms of ticket sales and television ratings. And on SmackDown in particular, this angle is a legitimate ratings draw, drawing nearly 1 million viewers or more in the key 18 to 49 demographic, pulling nearly 3 million viewers, their segments. This is where it's at, and I'm not mad at it. And I think that is how you tell a story that has many ebbs and flows, many chapters, from the Bloodline OG to the Sami Zayn and KO portions to where we are right now, to eventually circling back to Cody Rhodes and his own prophecy of what happened right after WrestleMania. I lost, but you still lost everything, Roman, except those belts. You lost your family, and I'm coming for what you treasure most, which are those belts when the time calls for it. But I'm just happy where we are right now. This is where WWE is at a sweet spot with this storyline, and Jey Uso being main event Jey Uso and calling his shot against Roman Reigns, which we'll get to towards the end of SmackDown.